Hey, brothers, are you scared to wrestle your grandma? Well, the Brothers Bloodline podcast on Spotify can protect you. Finding the best comedy for your pet rock. However, my pet rock is better than yours. Never mind that. Let's get to the point. This podcast presents things from the co-owner's favorite TV shows to spooky ghost stories. Their Instagram is the same thing, Brothers Bloodline, just like their Discord server. If you ever want an escape from your hectic life or just want to hear them be on the struggle bus, come on down. Bring your wrestling signs with you and get the chance to hit them over the head with the sign. Don't forget your tag team partner to tag in. Whoever finds the podcast first gets the heavyweight championship. Don't forget to share it with your tag team partner. Again, guys, it's called the Brothers Bloodline podcast. You can find it on Spotify or find them anywhere on Instagram as well. It's under the Bloodline podcast.
This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
All right, guys, how you doing? It is Thursday, February 15th, 2024. I apologize for this being late. If you can hear my voice, it's not great, I have to say. I lost my voice last night, and I've had an ear infection, and just it's been pretty rough. So I'm going to try to push through this the best I can. If my voice annoys you, I apologize. I'm trying the best I can. If I don't talk like this, here's what I'll sound like if I try to talk normal. I'm going to sound like this. Okay, so this pace is the only pace that I can have so that I don't sound awful. Okay, and I know I already do, and I'm probably already annoying some of you, but there's nothing I can do, and I don't want to delay the mailbag, so I just want to get going right away. And let's start with the patrons, as we always do. And this is Sharon. And Sharon says, "Hey, Matt, and to all of you Cody Crybaby fans, go shove a McNugget in your mouth." Okay, well, Sharon, it's funny you bring up the McNuggets because The Rock actually used a similar line back in 2003 when he turned heel. And it was when Austin and himself were about to compete at WrestleMania 17, and it was the Raw before. And you may or may not remember, I mean, obviously it was 20 years ago, but Austin was trying to get into the arena, and he drove his truck in, and it actually ended up being the Hurricane, Gregory Helms, who drove Austin's truck in. And then the police arrested Helms. It was obviously all a ruse to get Austin in the back of the truck to come out and eventually attack The Rock. But The Rock told the police to arrest the Hurricane and called him the Hamburglar, and he should be arrested for sticking chicken McNuggets up his ass. So I don't know if that was on purpose that The Rock did it again, but once again, as a heel, he's referencing chicken McNuggets being stuck up your ass. So I don't know if anyone else has made that connection, but it just so happens that I watched that this morning with The Rock in 2003 turning heel. He had a similar thing to say. I don't know what it is with his fascination of chicken McNuggets, but let's move on. I'm writing to you all after the Rock and Cody scandal, and I have a few things to say. Number one, about the work thing. I got tired of thinking about it, if everything was a work or not. If everything was a work for me, so good for me, I'm so good right now. The conversation about if it's a work pointing me to the audience trying to be against WWE. If they're saying that in order to say it, I got you to do a work on me. Okay, it sounds like you don't care. I'm guessing, Sharon, if it's a work or not. Does it? I mean, if that's what you're talking about, to me, it doesn't matter if it's a work. As far as, did WWE pivot? Did they not? Was this the plan all along? I mean, to me, it's all the same result. It's all the same. We get what the majority of fans wanted. I know, Sharon, you didn't, I didn't, but the fans have spoken, and the majority did want Cody. And whether or not that was the plan all along, I doubt it. But if it was, then more power to them. If it wasn't, we still got the result. All right. Number 2. This was the week that Cody and Roman finally, I can't do the Rock voice, Sharon. I can't do my voice. Okay. So it's funny you're asking me to do the Rock voice. I can't. Okay. So finally Cody became interesting. For 2 years, all those Cody crybabies that said Cody needed to finish the story. Now who cares? I love it now that you're fine. Oh, so you're finding this interesting now. Okay. Well, that's good. Good. Now there's an element beyond just Cody and Daddy, right? By the way, do you think that the Vince McMahon allegations and the CM Punk injury is a work as well? Absolutely not. No. You have a good week, Sharon. No way. There is no way that an organization with a public-facing or a publicly invested company that has millions of shareholders and stockholders, or shareholders and stakeholders, that is trying to push themselves as a PG product, has been fully entrenched in wrestling, that tries to, like any company, stay away from PR nightmares. You think that they would purposefully push Vince McMahon, this Vince McMahon story that he's involved in a sex scandal? That's a nightmare for any company. That's not what you, especially from a guy that created the company. There's no way. There's really no benefit. Somebody needs to tell me what the benefit is of creating that from nothing. As far as the CM Punk injuries at work, no way. No, not a chance. That also is 100% real. They wouldn't have CM Punk off TV the last 3 weeks if this was truly a work. You're losing viewership. There's just no need or reason to pretend this isn't a work. And also, I think it would really undermine anytime WWE tells you somebody's injured, that you'd be like, that's BS, right? There is a line between reality and fantasy that they need to stay within, and this is certainly not one that they've crossed. So, thanks, Sharon. All right, one email down. Let's see how far I can go. Of course, guys, I'm gonna prioritize the patrons, as I always do. And where am I going to go here? Let's talk to... God, I'm hoping these aren't long. Let's talk to Freeman, another patron. He says, "Hi, Matt. With things calming down, I just wanted to get your thoughts on a few things. First, the qualifiers for the Elimination Chamber could have been done better. Every match in both the men's and women's has been guaranteed a candidate versus a lower mid-card that no one believes has a chance. The possible exception being Orton versus Zayn, but let's be honest, there's no way Orton wasn't getting a spot. Do you think they could have booked these matches better? And if so, who would have been a believable contender for the chamber that isn't in it?" So this is kind of, to be honest, the way that qualifying matches have gone for as long as I can remember. You look at this and go, oh, well, there's like a 99% chance this person's going to win. And a lot of times they'll put people in there that aren't in any kind of storyline, a solid storyline, that can take the loss and not be hurt by it. But they'll also put them in there with somebody that they know that can wrestle well to put over the guy that is winning, so it helps them have a better match. And there's just, I don't think there's a way. I wouldn't have done it any differently. I have no issues with the qualifying matches. Now, excuse me, if we're going to get into the nitty gritty, well, then how did these qualifiers come to be in the first place? Like, how did they qualify to be qualifiers? You know what I mean? I'm not complaining about that. I don't need necessarily that level of detail. But if this was, a true sport, we'd probably know how exactly they became qualified to qualify, other than just picking them out of a hat. But okay, second, I get the feeling that Rhea Ripley is being distanced from the Judgment Day. The backstage segments recently only seem to involve the men. She doesn't come out to ringside with them anymore, and her business is completely separate from the Judgment Day's business. Can you think of one time where Rhea has interacted with R-Truth at all? Do you think Judgment Day can survive without Mommy, or Mommy's character without Judgment Day? The answer to all of this is yes. Yes to everything. And I'm even going to answer a question that you didn't ask in a minute too. The fact that Rhea Ripley is separating from the Judgment Day is not something I hate. I feel like actually she's been too entangled in the Judgment Day, where WWE was sacrificing her run as women's world champion and almost making that a secondary thing. I mean, especially for the first 6 months of her run, it was barely talked about as far as contenders. And when she did have contenders, they were hilariously underestimated as far as potentially beating her. I mean, it was a joke for the first 6 months. But then things started to change a little bit. And, for the last 4 or 5 months, things have been taken a little more seriously. And Rhea Ripley is going to be cheered no matter what they do at this point. Perhaps it is a start of the split from Rhea officially from Judgment Day, or maybe they're just taking a little bit more of a relaxed approach to it, where she's still involved, but they're focusing more on the women's world title. And I have no issue with that at all. None. And as far as her interacting with R-Truth, well, that also, I think, plays into the fact that she's focusing on her championship, not as much as Judgment Day business. But also, I think that they're poised to position her as a big baby face. I mean, look, the reaction she's going to get in Perth is going to be next level, right? There's nothing they can do to have that crowd boo her. It's not going to happen. And really at WrestleMania, I think it could be similar too. I don't care who they put against her. Becky Lynch is going to get booed, I think, in that match, if it's Becky Lynch. So I think that they're all distancing her too, because R-Truth is beloved. He's a beloved character, and I don't think they want to see Rhea Ripley assist in the beatdown of R-Truth. I think they may embrace this organic love for Rhea. And the last, so yes, the answer is they can absolutely survive without one another. The other, and we're seeing it right now, by the way, they're essentially separated in storyline, and they're doing just fine. So I think you answered your own question. The other thing I was going to answer that you didn't ask, and guys, I do apologize for my voice. I do. I know how annoying it is to listen to someone that's sick. So I'm doing the best I can. But there was something put out there recently about Rhea Ripley, who she said herself that she wants to and would be open to competing with men, and that for men's championships. That is a awful idea on so many levels. And before the I don't want to get into politics, but before the people that are, very sensitive today come after me for being sexist or misogynistic or whatever weird label you want to put on me, you go ahead. It doesn't bother me. The fact of the matter is, you can scream and shout about it all you want. Men and women are separated in sports and in WWE for a reason. And that reason is immutable biological differences. And there's just nothing you can do about it, right? If you want to throw men in women's sports, I think we have examples of that right now. It's very obvious, right? When a man in women's sports competes, it's usually overwhelmingly dominant. My point about that in WWE is, translating that, you start putting men or women in the men's division and having me believe that Rhea Ripley can beat up like a Kevin Owens, right? Or having Rhea Ripley beat up, Seth Rollins, right? No, I think that would destroy the sport. I don't even like it when the women are able to attack the men and the men can't retaliate. I mean, I know the political reasons and the PR reasons why they don't do it, which is exactly the reasons they don't do it. But I hate that. But when you actually, if you inject them truly into the men's side of things, it's going to create disaster. Because, well, if you're going to do that, if you're going to have Rhea Ripley compete for, say, the Intercontinental Championship, and I know they did that with China, which was a disaster in a lot of respects. If you do that, then, well, why can't it go the other way? Are you going to have suddenly, Omos win the women's world title? Because why can it go one way and not the other? You're putting the women in the men's division. Why not put the men in the women's? And some will say, well, it's not called the Men's Intercontinental Championship. Well, that's because they didn't have to, because it was only men that were wrestling at the times, right? Like, women's divisions didn't really exist or exist in any kind of respected way, right? Especially in the 80s and 90s. Women's wrestling has existed. I mean, look at the Fabulous Moolah, as an example, and Mae Young. They competed at a time when, women's wrestling was around, but it still wasn't taken nearly as seriously. And all the championships were for the men because it didn't have to be put in the title. It was just implied it's for the men, right? So if suddenly we add men to the Intercontinental Championship, then you'll have a problem with it. it just comes down to, I don't care how you label the title. The fact that Rhea Ripley is insisting that she could compete and should compete with the men is ridiculous, and it'll destroy the sport. It'll destroy it. It'll be laughable. It'll be laughable. I'm sorry. It's just fact. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I think it'd be an absolute disaster. And if they start doing that, I mean, I'm not going to say, oh, stop watching, as if anyone cares that's a real threat, right? It's just more of, I mean, okay, well, let's throw Roman Reigns in the women's division. Why not? You're telling us it doesn't matter. So what's the difference? I mean, a lot of people today are also trying to pretend that men are women and women are men. So if we want to go that road, well, what does it matter? Okay, let's throw Omos into a match with Liv Morgan. You're telling us they're all the same? Well, we can't do that, right? Oh, well, why not? And then the argument breaks down into reality. The reality is men are stronger and faster biologically than women by a large margin. And that's just it. There's just the way it is. It didn't make the rules. It just is. So it's going to be a disaster if this ever happens. I could actually, unfortunately, see it happening at some point. I know that wasn't your question at all, Freeman, but it did remind me about what Rhea Ripley said lately. And it would be horrific. It'd be horrific. I know that she's a stronger than average woman, but that doesn't make her not a woman. She's still a woman. And dividing the sexes into their own categories is the way to do it. And we've done it forever, and it has been successful. Up until, 15 minutes ago, when everybody wants to try to insert men into women's sports and pretend that that's cool. It's not. You're destroying. I mean, anyway, let's move on. I just wanted to say that because I know that it's the kind of borderline on political stuff going on, but I can see it coming to WWE. That kind of stuff is closer and edging closer and closer to WWE. I'm telling you right now, you heard it here first. This is just my opinion, not based on any kind of thing any reports I've seen, but based on Rhea Ripley, okay, her comments and the culture we live in today. I could see in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe sooner, where the women are competing with men and we're all supposed to just pretend that it's normal and it's competitive. And yeah, I know it's pro wrestling, but that doesn't make it any better. And we're all supposed to just accept it. I could tell you right now that I could see them at least trying it. It's a horrific idea. It'll destroy the sport at its core. But you heard it here first. I'm telling you. You don't believe me? That's just garbage. You're political. No. Take a look around you. Take a look at every other sport that's going on. College, professional, MMA. It's all around, and it's a bad idea. Because you know what's going to happen? What's going to happen is, especially in professional sports, until a woman actually dies in competition, I think that's maybe when things will wake up, but maybe not even then, a woman's going to get killed in one of these contact sports that men are in. I'm telling you. And it's not going to be good. That's why there's a split in the sexes for sports. But if it comes to WWE, I mean, I think it'll get critically panned. Some people look at it, that's great. No, it's not. It's laughable, and it's also dangerous on top of it. So, okay, moving on. I just wanted to bring that up because I'm telling you it's coming. Okay, sorry guys. Back to reality. Lastly, in an interview with Dwayne Johnson around 2010, he attributed The Rock's success in WWE to fans bringing signs to the shows. He said he would make a point to read as many of them as he could so he knew what was over and what wasn't, even stating that in the modern days with significantly less signs in the crowd, wrestlers were at a huge disadvantage with working out what's over. No matter what people think of Dwayne Johnson, he isn't a stupid man and knows his craft. Yeah, absolutely. Continue here. These days, X, Twitter, pretty much fills in this role. And it wouldn't surprise me to learn that Dwayne pushed for The Rock's heel turn after reading the backlash, just like he used to do with signs. Given how good of an indication X tags are for what's currently over, why do you object so much to the WWE using feedback and incorporating it into the product? Personally, I think that X as a barometer is a double-edged sword. You get good feedback from the community who are telling you how to please the fans, but there is no indication the people you're pleasing even buy or follow the product and aren't even just jumping on the bandwagon to look cool. Well, you kind of answered your own question, Freeman. See, I have no issue. WWE should pay attention to their fans. Absolutely. They tell us that you do, right? They always tell us, we're a focus group. We listen to the fans. I mean, we try to give you what you want, right? And they should. They're an organization that's for profit. You're only going to make money if you give people what they want. It's as elementary as it gets. My concern, though, is that if you're only using social media, you meaning WWE, if they're only using social media as their guiding light onto what they should do, that's a bad decision strategically, because that's only one factor. I mean, you have to listen to the live crowd, which is also what I said when this whole Rock thing happened, the We Want Cody movement happened, that if it translates into in-person, then I think it becomes real. And it's not just this social contagion that people want to jump on. And like you said, maybe it's people who don't even care about the product that just want to be part of something. I think that's some of it. But yeah, and also I think longevity. Sometimes things come and go. Trends can come and go in a day. It's the sustainability of a movement. And that's also what's key. And I think I don't disagree with what WWE has done, by the way. I was just concerned that since this is one of, not the only, I know the women had a help with the Give Divas a Chance movement, and Daniel Bryan, I think, was helped by social media as well. And social media continues to grow in its influence. But my concern is, since this is one of the most recent and strongest reactions on social media to a WWE creative move, that they are just going to decide without any other factors of, oh, well, the fans are angry and they're angry for 2 days. Okay, 2 days is the cutoff. I guess we'll change everything. You can't always just go with at the moment what fans are feeling. And maybe you can see something down the line that they don't know, and you're just going to deal with the backlash in between. I mean, I have no issue with them. Again, it is something they should absolutely pay attention to, especially on X or Twitter. I'm not against them doing that. I don't want it to be the sole source of their decision making. Wait a minute, guys, hold on. Let's check. Let's point your attention over here to Exhibit A on the screen here. Let's see what people are saying on X. I mean, I think it's a factor, but it shouldn't be the only one. But this was overwhelming, and it translated into in-person reactions. That to me was, you got to do it. I mean, like, it's clear this is real, but they can't just, if there's a movement on SmackDown for something, they can't just go, oh boy, now there's a We Want Kevin Owens chant. We got to put him in the main event. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that there's a balance that they need to strike, and it's not a defined, metric though, meaning like if it's, when do they decide that this is a real movement, that the fans really want this? How do they decide that? Is it, okay, guys, if it's over 2 days, then we should change things. If it only lasts 2 days or less, we're going to ignore it. It's going to be a case by case, I think. But thanks, Freeman. All right. More patrons. Where are you? I know we got more patrons. DJ Kuzmo. Let's get to you, brother. All right. He says, hello, WWE and AEW podcast world. DJ Kuzmo back at it again. And yet again, what is it with Michael Cole's obsession with Valhalla's antlers? Or as Pat McAfee would say, horns? Is this some sort of new gimmick or storyline angle? I think this is the third or fourth week that Cole mentions about her antlers. I don't know. There's something I missed. I don't know what it is, DJ. That's why I was asking. Did I miss something that was done on like The Bump or like a show I don't watch, like one of those main event show? I don't know. I don't know what it is with Cole and the obsession with the antlers. I have no clue. I don't know. I was hoping some of you guys would know. But anyway, before I get sidetracked here, interesting to see if Dakota Kai is possibly aligning with Bayley to take down the remaining members of Damage Control, or is this a possible turn against Bayley? That's a good question, DJ. I don't know. It seems genuine, but it also could be a setup for her next opponent, or her first opponent after beating Io Sky, or as Rhea Ripley would say, Io Shirai, which is her former name, obviously. So she kind of got it wrong. But is this her first opponent? And here's what I think. If you're going to put me on the spot, Bayley has to win at WrestleMania. I mean, she has to be a 1,000-to-1 favorite. There's just no scenario in which I could imagine Io Sky retaining. It doesn't make any sense to me. But Dakota Kai could then, after Bayley wins, take Bayley down after the victory or shortly after, maybe give her some time to celebrate. And then on SmackDown or shortly after or in a month after, we have Dakota Kai waiting in the wings to take down Bayley and go after her that way. So that's probably, I'm going to say Dakota Kai is being genuine up until Bayley wins the belt and then she wants to face Bayley for the belt. I think that's probably what it is, to get her another opponent. Lastly, it seems, not to get ahead of myself, but it seems like the seeds are being planted for a Survivor Series War Games of Cody's Avengers versus the Bloodline. We saw Seth mentioning about possibly teaming up with Cody to take down the Bloodline. There's an old saying that goes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Also, Sami Zayn could possibly join in along with main event Jey Uso and Randy Orton. Then on the Bloodline side is pretty much Rock, Roman, Jimmy, and Solo, and possibly another debuting cousin in Jacob Fatu, who is currently a free agent. Anyway, I'll stop there. We got Elimination Chamber next week and WrestleMania 40 in April to worry about. DJ Kuzmo signing off. Thanks, DJ. I mean, I don't know how to respond to this because this is, 9 months away? I don't even know. WWE probably hasn't even thought about this. They have so much on their plate with the Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania. They probably don't even look past Mania 40. Not a chance. I mean, as far as something like this goes, there's probably nobody sitting in the production meeting going, hey guys, no, stop, shh, quiet. I don't want to hear anything else about Elimination Chamber or WrestleMania 40. Put that to the side. I want to know about what you think about Survivor Series War Games in November. There's just no chance. If they're really booking out that far, I would give them all the props in the world. I mean, as far as being able to see out that far, but I have very much doubt that with everything else going on, there's, to me, no chance. But I like, if we were closer to a Survivor Series, if this was like August even, I would say, all right, that's very likely. But we're so far out. Thanks, DJ. Hey, brothers, are you scared to wrestle your grandma? Well, the Brothers Bloodline podcast on Spotify can protect you. Finding the best comedy for your pet rock. However, my pet rock is better than yours. Never mind that. Let's get to the point. This podcast presents things from the co-owner's favorite TV shows to spooky ghost stories. Their Instagram is the same thing, Brothers Bloodline, just like their Discord server. If you ever want an escape from your hectic life or just want to hear them be on the struggle bus, come on down. Bring your wrestling signs with you and get the chance to hit them over the head with the sign. Don't forget your tag team partner to tag in. Whoever finds the podcast first gets the heavyweight championship. Don't forget to share it with your tag team partner. Again, guys, it's called the Brothers Bloodline Podcast. You can find it on Spotify or find them anywhere on Instagram as well. It's under the Bloodline Podcast. Okay, more patrons. Where are we at here? Let's go to Darren, another patron. He says, hey, WWE Podcast family, I saw the most ridiculous social media post ever, and I thought I'd have to share and have a good laugh. It said, quote, when Cody finishes the story, he deserves to be in this conversation. And it had pictures of Stone Cold, The Rock, Hogan, and John Cena. Now, I want Roman to drop the belt as much as anyone, and I do think Cody should be the one to beat him, but a small part of me wants to see what the internet will do if Cody loses 2 years in a row. Does that make me a bad person? Darren. No, Darren, that makes you a good person. In fact, you're doing the Lord's work right now by putting into the Cody fans' minds that while they all think, even double probably the confidence of last year, that Cody is guaranteed to win because there's just no way they can do it twice. But what if they do, right? What if they do? And I am more curious. Here's the thing. I'm with you. Even if you're not a Cody fan, you want Roman to drop the belt. You will sacrifice anything and anyone to get Roman to drop the belt. And I'm on board for that. As much as I hate the Cody character, I don't care. He is the right person to beat Roman. I agree with that. But I am also very curious as to, since we're so confident, what if they don't? What if they do the swerve again and he loses again? What do they do? Now, I still don't think that'll happen just for the sake of them doing it again to see what the fans will do. But part of me almost would want to see what fans would do over Roman losing the belt. You know what I mean? I'm almost more curious to see that outcome than to see Roman drop his belt. Almost. But as far as the Cody Rhodes being on the same level as Stone Cold, The Rock, Hogan, and Cena, I mean, when it comes to title victories, obviously not. When it comes to being one of the faces of the company, he is one of those right now, so you can match up those attributes with those men. When it comes to reactions from the fans and level of sustained support, he is on par. I mean, the fans have been unwavering since he came to WrestleMania 38 and faced Seth Rollins. Unwavering. So there is a grain of truth to that. But when you look at the overall package, when you look at beyond just like individual things, if you just take a step back at a macro view, it's a laughable statement because Cody hasn't done nearly as much or had as much of an impact as those four men. It's not even close. I understand though, again, in the moment, because Cody's the guy right now, especially the Cody fans would say, no, he's on par. How exactly? You know what I mean? The contributions of Austin, Rock, Hogan, and Cena are decades long with multiple title victories, changing the culture. I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin made his on-camera performances translated into real life things people would do. I mean, drink beer, flipping the bird, stunning each other. I mean, I did it as a high school kid. It was part of the culture. Doing DX chops was part of the culture. The Rock and The Rock's eyebrow and all these things, that brought into mainstream culture. Who is imitating Cody Rhodes right now? I mean, who are the people who are walking around in suits, maybe bringing in their dog to work, getting their teeth whitened and bleaching their hair like Cody Rhodes? It's not happening, right? Because we're not stuck in 2001 with Justin Timberlake of NSYNC. I mean, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that's not the only factor, but it's one of the things that Cody doesn't have compared to these men. You know, the things that those four men did actually made it into mainstream culture, where even the people that weren't wrestling fans knew who he was, or any of these men are. Whereas even like somebody who's not a wrestling fan probably still hasn't heard of Cody Rhodes. He's not a household name yet. You know, that real person's really made it when even the people that hate wrestling or don't know anything about the product at all still know who that person is. And Cody Rhodes isn't there yet. And no one's imitating Cody Rhodes. Alrighty, let's continue. And let's get to Anthony. I know, guys, don't worry. I see all the other patrons. We'll get there. Anthony from California. First of all, thank you for being a patron. He says, good morning from California. Of course, Seth has been pushed aside a bit. He's injured. I'm doubling down on no Rock versus Roman being the right and logical move for WrestleMania 40. There was no way they were going to have Rock show up and 2 months later have the mega match of Rock and Roman. The Rock said he's in it for the long haul. Rock and Roman is too juicy of a story. WWE is going to squeeze every drop out of the juice in the program. The match makes more sense at WrestleMania 41 with a year of build. I know the Cody fans cried and got what they wanted, just like Kingston and Bryan, or did they? Cody's not in the same situation. He's 1,000% backed by WWE. They know he's the face, and they've been pushing for it since he came back. Okay, so I'll get to your other half in a sec, but I want to respond to this. I think that when we get to WrestleMania 41, it will be Rock Roman. I don't believe that was their plan, though. I know what you're saying. They would do it for 2 months build. What did they do for Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin? I mean, how many times? Or Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns for the 18th time, though. I mean, they have had a history before of short build for a massive main event. Think about this. This isn't just a recent phenomenon either. Even during their heyday, at one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time, WrestleMania 17 in Houston, April 1st, I think it was, 2001, Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. The Rock we didn't know that The Rock was facing Stone Cold Steve Austin until February at No Way Out when he beat Kurt Angle for the WWF Championship. So the fact that it is only a 2 month build, I agree from just on principle, though, that I like long builds for especially a match of this caliber. I totally agree with you. My point in bringing this evidence up is that WWE has a history of this going back decades. It's not every year, and sometimes they do very long story arcs to build it, and I like long story arcs, but it also has its drawbacks. Like John Cena and The Rock at WrestleMania 27, they started building it after 26, if I'm not mistaken, and that kind of got a little bit, I mean, it got a little agitating, especially when you're in the spring and summer, and you're like, oh my God, we've got like 8 months till this match. But I think if you spread it out over enough months, and you only are reminded of it every few months or so, it keeps you're in the mind of, keeps it in the back of your mind, I'm trying to say, but it's not always there in your face. For a year of a build is a long time, especially if it's like every other week or every week. It would be insufferable. You'd be like, I don't need to hear about this anymore. And you can only build it so much. There's only so much content you can create for it, no matter how good the matchup is. So, I mean, it can be done, but I mean, also, if you build it that long, you're risking those men not being available due to injury, right? Or The Rock has some venture. Maybe he wants to get into politics. I mean, I don't think he's going to, because this is a presidential year. I think The Rock may be a candidate in 2028, by the way. I think The Rock is probably going to be a Democratic candidate in 2028 for the presidential election. That's my guess right now, if you're asking. But, I mean, he could do something else. Again, injury, something unforeseen, another movie schedule glitch for the 18th time. There's a lot of factors, a lot of things that can happen over a 12 or 14 month time period that would negate the match happening. So there's inherent risk with doing a long build. So that's why I don't think they meant to do it, but now they have that luxury if they're building to 41, and I do believe they are now. They have the benefits of it. You're right. They have a time to properly build. This also means, by the way, the Bloodline's not going to turn babyface until maybe after WrestleMania 41. So that's a bit disappointing if you're looking for a babyface turn from Roman and the Bloodline. It's not going to happen until after the Rock match. So, yeah, there is some drawbacks, but again, now you have time to think about everything properly. The title will be out of the picture. No title on the line. Let's all pray for that, which was the biggest factor in the fans turning on The Rock. So, you have time, and you have more. There's no excuse to not do this properly now. None. And to have The Rock fully supported by the fans. You can get the fans back. It's not hard. So, okay. Where are we going? Oh, the fans had to fight and make it happen, or fight and make momentum, real homegrown momentum for Bryan, Kingston, and Knight. Brilliant move to put Cody over even more by making it appear that The Rock was going to take his spot. Triple H and creative are operating at a level that we can't even comprehend. He is playing 3D chess while everyone's playing chutes and ladders. Take the emotion out of it, and it's absolutely the logical move. Fantasy booking for 40. Cody and Roman throw down Jimmy. Tries to interfere. Jay super kicks him out of it. Solo tries to interfere. Either Cena or Orton take him out. Finally, Rock interferes, glass breaks, and the original Hellraiser Stone Cold comes out for the save. Cody wins, and Roman is protected because it took generations of WWE to end Roman's reign. Keep up the good work, and thank you for all that you do. I'm going to have to upgrade to Raw to debate you live. Peace and chicken grease. Well, hey, I mean, let's go. I mean that very respectfully. I'm up for debating. It's fun. It really is. But the problem is today, I don't mean you, Anthony, just generally, when people want to debate, before they can even debate or want to debate the issues, they, attack personally. And that's how by the way, you've won an argument when they've got nothing left to stand on, no ground to stand on from from an issue standpoint, the issue you're debating, and they just try to attack you personally. That's how you know you've already won. So I'm all for it, man. Just if you upgrade, let me know and send me a message, and we'll figure out a time for you to come on, and we can have some we can chat. All right. As far as your fantasy booking for 40, your comment about Triple H on another level that we can't even comprehend. I mean, I think we can all comprehend it, and I don't think that this is not exactly. Sometimes booking can be overbooked. We've seen that a lot in WWE, and sometimes even in the Triple H era, things can be very overbooked. And when you overcomplicate booking, it comes out on screen as overcomplicated, and the fans are disinvested. Simple is usually, not always, but usually a better rule of thumb when it comes to fans engaging in content. Because when you overcomplicate things, or there's just too many, like, what is this? I don't even care anymore. Then you've got the fans' disinterest. So I think simple is better as a rule. And I don't think that, they think they're probably outsmarting us, but the fans ultimately have the power, do we not? So they can try to play 3D chess all we want, but apparently all we need to do is get a hashtag trending for a weekend, and we can get what we want. So who's really got the power? So much for Chutes and Ladders, huh? But listen, as far as your WrestleMania 40 booking, I've proposed, absolutely, that you could have John Cena and Austin, one or the other or both, assist in evening the odds for Cody. See, that's the key. I would love to see Austin stun Roman Reigns. It's been a fantasy of mine for a while. Or having John Cena come out as his ace in the hole to help him out. John Cena has a history with the bloodline. That would make sense. But I think what would taint the victory for Cody is if it's a overcompensation where everyone gangs up on Roman and then Cody wins because he's gotten hit with like 4 finishers, right? Then no, I think that's a bad idea for the Cody run. You want this victory to be clean. You want it to be even. And that's why I say that if you do have these superstars come out to help Cody, it should only be to even things, not to tilt things in Cody's favor. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference. So if Roman Reigns has members of the bloodline come out, like, of course, The Rock, of course, Jimmy and Solo, how cool would this be? Think about this. I don't know what The Rock's match is at WrestleMania. I still have no clue. But what if The Rock inevitably interferes in Cody's match? Solo does, Jimmy does. We have John Cena come out. He gets rid of maybe one of the 3, right? The Rock ultimately hits a rock bottom on John Cena with the history with them. And it's Solo and The Rock left in the ring, or just The Rock left after John takes out Solo and Jimmy. And then The Rock is about to rock bottom Cody Rhodes to help Roman retain. And you hear the glass shatter. I think I just gave myself goosebumps. That's a insanely plausible scenario. It sounds ridiculous, but I'm not asking for a match with The Rock and Austin. No, that's not what I'm proposing, of course. I'm proposing that Austin come out to even the odds of taking out The Rock. And if Solo and Jimmy are already out of the picture because John Cena took him out, Austin comes out, stuns The Rock, and then Cody Rhodes hits his finish on Roman for the victory. Nobody touches Roman. All they did was even the odds. And now you have Stone Cold Steve Austin hitting a stunner on The Rock, John Cena helping out, and you have Cody Rhodes, who didn't get any help other than, again, getting rid of the extras, hit the crossroads for the 1, 2, 3 new champion. I think that's how I would book this. I think I just fantasy book things for myself. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. Because it doesn't put Cody in a bad position of, he needed that help. No, he was outnumbered. And all that Austin and John Cena did were even the odds. I mean, that's it. That's all they did. And they didn't even put their hands on Roman. Cody did everything. Cody did everything. That's how I would do this. Ooh. Hey, Trips, you listening? I hope you did. I think and you know what? Austin doesn't need to be in ring shape. John Cena doesn't need to be in ring shape, even though they both probably are close to it anyway. And you get massive moments. You get massive exposure. What do you mean? Imagine Austin hitting a stunner on The Rock. Think about that. In 2024, we get Austin and The Rock as far as just one physical altercation. I'm not asking for a match, but you telling me The Rock can't take a stunner? Of course he can. So I mean, the fans would lose their minds. The magnitude of that. I know I'm not trying to take away from Cody and his victory in that match. But the moment there, I can feel it. I'm sure as wrestling fans, you guys can too. But all right, well, let's move on. Thank you, Anthony. Let's talk to another patron. And let's see who this is. I'm not sure.
Yo, it's me. It's me.
It's Rocky T.
Oh, that's who it is. Okay. All right, well, it's been a while. So, Rocky, what do you got for us? Let's see. And we got from Rocky T. I heard from a little birdie that we call the gardener that Mr. Matt had a birthday recently. So happy birthday from the Rocky T household. Thank you. Appreciate it. Big old 3-9. Still in my 30s. I'm still in my 30s. 40's going to hit hard. I mean, it is what it is, right? But the fact is that I'm halfway through my life, which means like in another 40 years, I'll probably although not guaranteed. I mean, I'll probably be dead, right? Like what? This is crazy, right? So thank you, Rocky T. Have you acquired any new collectibles? Down below is a picture of our new ones. Let me take a look. So you guys, wow. You know what? Both of you, those, I'm very jealous. I was actually considering getting that championship, Rocky. Not the women's one with your wife. Very nice looking championship. I think I may invest in that one. That is a huge belt. Man, they make it look so small. I think because, obviously they're larger than life men, but I was thinking about investing in it. And I may do it at the next PLE during Elimination Chamber because they usually have the 25% off belts during PLEs. So I may do it during there because if you go to a live event and purchase it, I think you have to get a second mortgage on your house to get one. So I may do that. Very cool. But I don't have any new collectibles as of this moment. But I'm probably going to invest in, like I said, a belt may be coming my way as well as a t-shirt or two. I may get the Drew McIntyre t-shirt. I love his new t-shirt. But also, this is your 4-week reminder. You and the missus will be at Raw March 11th in Houston and hope you can do Raw. Yes. P.S. We wear pink on Wednesday. Only on Wednesday, yeah. And can I sit with you guys? Thank you for reminding me because I may actually rewatch that movie. Not the new one. They're remaking it, which is dumb. They're trying to make it a 2024 version. It's essentially the same movie, just different faces. There's no need to redo Mean Girls. I mean, but they're going to try, and I think it's a bad move. But thank you for reminding me. Remind me again in a couple weeks so I can remember that you guys are going to be coming on the show now. As far as when I record Tuesday nights, like 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. So just keep that in mind. So hopefully that works for you guys. Looking forward to it. Okay. Thank you so much, Rocky T. Let's go to our next patron. Wait a minute. I know some of you sent me messages on Patreon, so that's what I'm trying to get to. Those were the emails from patrons, but on the actual Patreon website, which, by the way, you guys, you can go and join and get yourself prioritized on the show. We have a message from Alex, the French guy. And he says, I can't wait for your After Dark show on Why Are We Here? I really enjoyed your After Dark show, Why Time Doesn't Exist for You. On this topic, I enjoy the myth of Sisyphus. It's also an essay by a French philosopher named Albert Camus. God. I think I just botched 3 words. I'm going to say 3 total in that sentence. In ancient Greek myths, Sisyphus was doomed by Zeus. I can say Zeus. His punishment was to push a rock to the top of the hill only to let it roll to the bottom. He would have to do it for eternity. It's in short, an absurd task. However, we should picture Sisyphus happy. Even if his life was absurd, it was even with a meaningless task. In other words, there is no greater meaning in life but what we give it. Bye, guys. Okay, well, that's deeper than my mind can go right now. But as far as doing another After Dark show, yeah, I mean, we have Anthony do it. I know Michael Gross and Maverick filled in last week, but absolutely. I mean, I don't mind doing another After Dark when my voice returns and doing something non-wrestling related. I know I've had several people say, I love wrestling, but I'd love to hear, this topic or that topic. Absolutely. I mean, guys, why don't you send in for patrons? Send in, because it's only exclusive to patrons who are NXT Plus and higher. you guys send him the topics that you want me to talk about that are non-wrestling, and I will talk about them for 20, 30 minutes, and that show will be only available to you guys. I think that'd be a fun topic. It can be anything. It's adult only, so meaning there's cussing, it could be a little bit raunchy or whatever. I have no problem with that. Good stuff, Alex. All right, let's talk to Shahar. Well, I haven't talked to you in a while. Yeah, you say, so long time no speak. I actually wanted to send an email last week about the whole Cody mega mess. But since I didn't have anything new or informative to say, besides I hope I get to see Cody defeat Roman at 40, I passed. Luckily, it all worked out for the best. I'm a proud Cody crybaby. Sharon also called me that. We're friends now. Very cool. You guys are... So, I mean, if you're a proud Cody crybaby, that's cool. No, I mean, and you and Sharon are friends. So Sharon is making friends with Cody crybabies, huh? All right. What I really want to talk about is the next best thing for me in WWE, my girl Becky. As a devout listener of the show for the last 2 months or so, I've been hearing you and Anthony talking trash about Becky constantly. The things you say I can't argue with about because it's a personal opinion, like Becky's character, her voice, her lips, but I can argue with the actual facts, or at least what I see as facts. I don't know why you think that Becky is going to get booed at WrestleMania. Every time her music entrance hits, the crowd is on her feet or cheering for her. There's always signs for Becky when she enters the ring. The crowds are chanting Becky, Becky. And I don't know if you noticed in the WrestleMania 40 kickoff, the crowd actually sang along her entrance when the music stopped. I agree the crowd also loves Rhea, but not more than Becky. And I'm sure as hell Becky isn't going to get booed. Worst case scenario, Becky will get the same pop as Rhea. I know I'm leaving my throat in Lincoln Field for Becky, Lincoln Financial Field for Becky. Until next time, my friend. Yeah, I had a feeling, that I know you're a massive Becky supporter, and we've only been being critical or trashing her when it comes to just things that are, annoying, right? Like as far as we think they are with her voice, her promos, they've been arguably, this is what we're doing now, annoying. But we have been very complimentary to her legacy and what she has meant to the women's division. That hasn't changed. She is one of the trailblazers of the women's evolution. She's the first woman to main event WrestleMania and win the WrestleMania main event. Her heel turn that turned into the biggest babyface turn in SummerSlam a number of years ago was a huge moment, and she became the face of the company for a long time. None of that is disputed by us. It's just lately she's been kind of boring. I mean, really, over the summer, especially when she went to NXT and she played around and had some fun with the NXT women. And that's all fun and well, but she was boring throughout the Trish Stratus program that lasted, I think, 14 or 18 months, But here's the thing. So far, the fans haven't really booed her, but here's what I can see it coming. The fans haven't yet had to decide who they're going to side with yet. Meaning, Rhea and Becky haven't had a match yet. Rhea continues to gain support. Becky Lynch is remaining, I think, flat. I don't think she's descending. I don't think she's going up. I think she's just kind of staying the same. And given that she's the same old, I think that the fans, as the support for Rhea goes up every week, and it does continue to go up, and the cheers continue to get louder for Rhea every week, that when it comes to WrestleMania, which is where fans are very vocal, obviously, but are also usually the more passionate fans, the more quote-unquote hardcore fans, that you're going to have those fans side with Rhea Ripley. I don't think it's going to be a Triple H John Cena dynamic where Triple H was trying to be the heel going into the match and at WrestleMania, was it WrestleMania 22 or something? Over a decade, 15 years ago, whatever it was. And they booed John Cena out of the building and Triple H got supported. I don't think it's going to be that dramatic. But when the fans are forced to choose, which they haven't had to do yet with these two, they had a face-off at the press conference. They haven't yet gone face-to-face in a match with high stakes on the line. And when they do, I think Rhea Ripley is going to get more support than Becky Lynch. I don't think Becky's going to get booed out of the building, but you're going to hear some boos. And I don't think it's going to be a very friendly crowd towards Becky. Again, it's not going to be 100% for Rhea and 0 for Becky. I think it's going to be more of a 60-40 deal with most of the support going for Rhea Ripley, because that's how WrestleMania crowds are, and especially the Monday Night Raw after. Mommy's on fire. She's a more interesting character than Becky Lynch is. And I don't think fans want to see her drop the belt yet. And we've already seen, I know it's been 2 years, but we've already seen what it looks like with the Becky Lynch run. Her character has not evolved. I don't want to hear that her outfits change. That's all superficial stuff. Her character has been somewhat, utterly boring. She's cheersing us. For what? Trying to be relatable? I don't know. I just find her character boring right now. I've said for a long time, her character just needs a shot of something. Maybe it is a heel turn, but if you're going to keep her babyface, she needs to change something, and not just her outfits. The core of who or what she is or what she does, I don't know. There's something. I don't have the answer. I just know when something needs to change to continue moving forward, and Becky Lynch needs something to change. She's not in danger. I'm just saying, if you're trying to get her to be what she was, something needs to change. But when it comes to WrestleMania, I stand by my decision. I stand by my convictions that I think the majority of support is going to go to Rhea Ripley. I don't have any doubt about that. I can feel it coming. Becky Lynch will hear some boos, or at least a muted response, especially when they start going toe-to-toe, especially when they start trading blows. It's going to be boo, yeah, one of those. And I think when Rhea Ripley retains, I hope she does, because I think Rhea Ripley has more story to tell than Becky does. The fans are going to support, Rhea. You even admit it yourself. So, all right, well, Shahar, this is why it's fun. We disagree. That makes it fun. Okay, and we'll ultimately see who's right. And if I'm wrong, then you won't hear from me for a while. So that way I'll hope you won't call me out on it. All right, let's continue and get to another message from, where are we? Badfish. And he says, hey, Matt, was just listening to your weekend review, and all the WrestleMania talk has me thinking. There is a way to have Rock in the match. Let's say the build to WrestleMania sees the Bloodline, including The Rock, against Cody as expected. They then go to the Mike Tyson WrestleMania 14 approach and have The Rock as the referee. The twist is, the last couple shows before the match, the Bloodline continuously beat down Cody, and The Rock seems not like the way they are been handling their business. Now, at WrestleMania, Solo and Jimmy interfere during the match, and Roman gets the final pin. The Rock dramatically counts to 2 and then stops, looks Roman in the face and says, he was right, our ancestors would not be proud of this. You have to win this clean. The match continues, Cody wins. What do you think? Well, I don't think The Rock's going to be a special referee. How does Cody allow that to happen? With all this quote-unquote political power he has in storylines, how does he allow The Rock to be the special referee? And also, as I've said, I think for Cody's own sake and his character's sake, when he wins, and I think it is a win, he wins at WrestleMania 40, you can't have him win in a honky, weird way. Meaning you can't have any hokey pokey with outside interference that directly affects The Rock, or rather Roman Reigns losing. I know I proposed John Cena and Austin coming in to help, but I was very clear on making it that they're only attacking the Jimmys and the Rocks and the Solos of the world, not Roman Reigns himself. All they're doing is evening the odds and clearing things out to make things even. But with The Rock there, if he's the referee, he's in there the whole match. And I don't think The Rock wants to be a special referee. I don't think you want the attention on the referee. You want it on The Rock and Roman, which is what it's been built to. So I don't think this happens, because this to me seems like it's the focus off of Cody, which it shouldn't be. And then it's all about, is The Rock going to be partial? Is he not? How does Cody even let this happen? It would be too much of a distraction in the match. Whereas what I propose is just a minute or two of the match that allows Cody to even the odds and hit his finish for the victory. Okay, let's continue. A couple more and then we'll call it a day. I know we didn't even get to voicemails. That's, again, the volume of this show has gone up so much. I can't shove everything in an hour here. So we'll have to finish this up at another time, especially my voice is starting to really go. Okay, a couple more. And this is from Fossey, and a patron. He says, "Hi, Matt. Love the shows, but a couple of queries. I don't think overall you are too negative, but sometimes a bit repetitive or picky with criticisms. Like Becky calling an opponent a dope, or Ronda adjusting her pants, and that you don't like Cody in his suits. And the what chant? The whoop, that trick chant, I would have thought would be kind of off. Had to look up the meaning. Being an Australian, not something we are familiar with mostly, and with the Vince McMahon allegations and stories, I understand reluctance to discuss it at all. Consider him guilty before it has been proven, but this all perhaps is the biggest and ugliest story in WWE history, and people aren't talking about it. It puts a damper on the whole experience for me. Thanks again." Okay. Well, a couple things. Yeah, I mean, I do nitpick. I am repetitive, no doubt. But if the things that I don't like keep happening in my face, I mean, I'm not bringing them up unless I see them happening all the time. Now, Ronda Rousey, I haven't talked about her adjusting her pants because it stopped happening. She left, which I'm not complaining about. Cody's suits and him smiling and his dogs continue to happen. So I'm going to continue to complain about it because it's in my face every week. The what chant is just annoying objectively. I don't know why fans continue it. You can't tell me it adds to a show anymore. It's not fun. It stopped being cool about 18 years ago. And it just, that's what it is. I don't even understand what whoop that trick is. I know it's something going on in NXT, I think, but I don't really know. Meaning I haven't read the, 400-page document. I don't think most of us have. I mean, that kind of stuff you can read that stuff on any NBC News, Fox News. I mean, it's all over the place. Pick your news outlet and just do a Google search if you want to know more about it. This isn't pertaining to actual wrestling storylines. I mean, what is there to say? We know the allegations. Now let's let this thing play out. What would you like me to say about it? Again, if you want to know the details and see the evidence and, look at exactly what Vince is being sued for and by who and all that. I mean, you can go and Google that. That's all available to you. The only opinion that I have on it is it sucks. And he probably, although it hasn't been 100% proven, he's probably guilty. And that sucks for Brock Lesnar too, but he got himself in this mess. It sucks for fans and not being able to see Brock again. We won't get Gunther Brock. That sucks. It does. But I mean, I don't know what you want me to comment on about it. The only opinion I have about it again is it sucks. And if Vince is found guilty, then obviously he deserves to be in jail or sued into oblivion. Yes. I mean, it's awful. There's not much more I can say beyond that. I mean, unless you want to get into the litigation and the legalese of things and discuss the case piece by piece. I mean, that's not what I'm going to do here. It's just not my thing. All right. Let's see. James B says, "Do you think Seth Rollins could lose the title to MJF or Jon Moxley?" No, because I don't think either one are coming to WWE right now. It seems like MJF has kind of quietly re-signed. We'll get confirmation probably in the next few weeks or months. And Jon Moxley does not have any interest, from what I understand, of coming back to WWE. So the answer to that is no, but boy, do I want MJF in WWE. It'd be so much fun. Okay. Let's get to, this is the final patron of, I think, my email, but we'll see. But this is the final email, guys, and then we'll do another part of this. This is from NXT Plus patron, Kaiser. And Kaiser says, "Hey, Matt, hope all is well with you and everyone else. I've been listening now on the podcast since WrestleMania 38, and I love your show." Well, thank you. I just joined the NXT Plus Patreon, and I'm so excited for the extras that will give me. I'm glad you are excited, and we're going to try to keep pumping out those the After Dark shows, and maybe even non-wrestling topics. Again, guys, if you're a patron or you're not a patron but would love to be one, and you're thinking, hey, that'd be cool to hear about this topic or that topic, and it's not wrestling related, shoot. I mean, there is no limit on what I will talk about. And if it's a little bit adult, that's the only non-PG show that we produce, and it's only for patrons that are on the NXT Plus and above. Okay, let's go. All right. So a little background on me. I'm 27 from London. I've been a fan since around 2005. And I'm watching with all my family. And now I have managed to get my lovely girlfriend, Tanny, invested into the show. I took her to SmackDown here in London last year, and she went from calling Roman Reigns the big hairy guy to now acknowledging the tribal chief and constantly sending me wrestling memes on Instagram, which has been fun to share my passion with her. My child faves were Jeff Hardy, Batista, and Rey Mysterio, and I'm hoping Batista gets inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. That's awesome that you get to share that passion with your girlfriend. That's a rare trait, my friend. She sounds like a keeper. Okay, let me just say that. I've kept up with the product ever since and have been to WrestleMania 24 and 30. Oh, man, you were there for the Undertaker streak ending, huh? Ooh. And I'm very excited to be going to WrestleMania 40 this year with my mom, which will be our third WrestleMania together. Hopefully you decide to go so we could meet. I have really, really considered it. I know so many people now that are listeners that are going to the show. It is something I'm considering. It's just a matter of time and money, right? Like all of us, time and money. Time from work, time away from the family. Obviously, tickets are not cheap. Hotel, flight, ancillary expenses like food and just random things that happen. All these things. And it's a lot to consider. Even though for me, up in Albany, New York, it's not that far of a flight. I mean, my God, it would take me probably like an hour or 45 minutes to fly there. So it's super quick. But it's time and money, again. So take time off work and that kind of thing. But it'd be a blast. So it's not completely off the table, but it's not looking good. But absolutely, if I go, I would love to meet everyone. I would. It'd be a blast. Because obviously, seeing people face to face is much different than just talking into my microphone in my office. All right. Anyway, I don't want to send too long of an email. I just wanted to ask your opinion on a couple things. I heard your weekly review talking about the unlikeliness of The Rock versus Triple H happening due to his heart issue, but I read somewhere online a suggestion that Triple H could unveil Randy Orton as an opponent for Triple H. Do you think there's a possibility, and how do you think that would go down? If Triple H is going to face anyone, it'd be The Rock. We've already seen Randy Orton and Triple H. In fact, we've seen it at WrestleMania. In fact, I believe that was one of Triple H's last matches. We don't need to see it again. And I know there's history there with Orton and Triple H, but if Triple H is able to at all somehow with some miracle get into the ring, it's against The Rock. I can assure you of that. Now, also, do you think Chad Gable's IC title experiment has come to an end, or do you think there will be a second win for him somewhere down the line? Thanks for the response. Also, is there a way to send in directly to the mailbag through Patreon? I couldn't see where to go. I just emailed directly. So, well, thank you for listening, Kaiser. There is a way in Patreon directly. For me, there's something called a community tab. And in the community tab, there's something called direct messages. Now, as a patron, I don't know if that's how it looks for you, but as a creator, that's how it looks for me. So in the community tab and then in direct messages is where I see all the patrons' messages. So I hope that helps. But let's get to the answer here, or your the response to your inquiry as far as Chad Gable. I don't think the experiment has come to an end, but I don't know if that's their end game. Chad Gable nearly won it, and they almost went for a four-peat, or not a three-peat, but I guess I call it a four-peat. They almost went with number 4 with Gable, and then that stopped suddenly. As far as a match with Gunther, I have no problem with it. Chad Gable is one of the best in-ring wrestlers that WWE has, and I'm not saying that as like hyperbole or trying to be overdramatic. Take a look at his matches, for God's sakes. You talk about a pure wrestler, that guy's it, and he's got an actual persona to match, so he could absolutely win. I have no issue with Chad Gable winning. Do I think they're going to go with that? No, they're probably going to go with someone more flashy and a little bit more star power like a Jey Uso. And I also have no problem with that either. And I hope that they don't go with Jimmy, by the way, Jimmy versus Jey at WrestleMania over Jey winning the Intercontinental Championship. If that's the two choices, I take Jey winning the Intercontinental Championship every time. I'm one of the few people that has no interest in Jimmy versus Jey. None. Zero. But that's what I think. Thank you so much, Kaiser. And I'll let everyone know if I decide to go to Mania. Again, it's as close for me as WrestleMania has been in a long time. I know they went to MetLife. That was pretty close too. But yeah, you guys are tempting me. You guys are certainly tempting me. All right. So I'm going to pause there. I have, my voice is on the verge of just completely being useless. So I know I've got more emails. I can make a whole nother show out of these emails and voicemails. So I'm going to stop there. And we will do part 2 at some other time, maybe on Sunday or maybe Friday or Saturday. I don't know. It depends on how I feel. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I appreciate all the emails. Really is much appreciated. If you want to join us on Patreon and get your email read up front like you heard today, patreon.com/WWE podcast is the way to go. And you can get yourself ad-free everything as well as priority support or priority placement, I should say, not support. This isn't a customer service rep, but you can get priority placement on the show as a patron and everything ad-free. All right, let's pause there. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I'll talk to you guys on, what is it? Today's Wednesday? No, Thursday. I'll talk to you guys sometime before Sunday, I think. Take care. Hey, brothers, are you scared to wrestle your grandma? Well, the Brothers Bloodline podcast on Spotify can protect you. Finding the best comedy for your pet rock. However, my pet rock is better than yours. Never mind that. Let's get to the point. This podcast presents things from the co-owners' favorite TV shows to spooky ghost stories. Their Instagram is the same thing, Brothers Bloodline, just like their Discord server. If you ever want an escape from your hectic life or just want to hear them be on the struggle bus, come on down. Bring your wrestling signs with you and get the chance to hit them over the head with the sign. Don't forget your tag team partner to tag in. Whoever finds the podcast first gets the heavyweight championship. Don't forget to share it with your tag team partner. Again, guys, it's called the Brothers Bloodline podcast. You can find it on Spotify or find them anywhere on Instagram as well. It's under the Bloodline podcast.
Thanks for listening to the WWE podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.